Welcome to Thursday Night Football on AfterBuzz. Tonight's game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings was a tight one. We also have news about the football teams. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, I'm so used to the Monday Night Football.
Shout out to all the Cowboys fans out there.
No, shout out to the Cowboys fans. Come on.
You gotta give it up to the Cowboys.
No,
Welcome to Thursday Night, Josh.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I like it, though.
Swap seats.
Yeah, we swapped seats. I like it.
Well, Thursday Night Football. How are you guys? I'm Michael Rippe. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips.
I'm Jill Munroe. You can catch me everywhere at Stiletto Jill.
Josh Rodriguez on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_.
Well, this is exciting. All right. Well, we had actually a good game tonight.
Yeah, we did. Well, yes, we did.
A close game.
Yes.
I rephrased.
Yes.
Close game. Pretty good, though. I thought so, at least. Better than
Fifth
most
in
Thursday
offense
nights.
against the third-ranked defense.
Yes.
So.
But Dallas, again, victorious. 11 straight. How's that make you feel, Josh?
Rolling. Josh is a Giants fan.
I'm a
so let's
Giants
just,
fan, too. I don't know if the Monday Night Football listeners are the same as the Thursday Night Football listeners, but for those who don't know, I'm a Giants fan, and it's kind of killing me to see the Cowboys on the streak right now. But they're good, man. They really are. I thought they were going to lose tonight. I'm not going to lie. I thought
You
they
did. You said on Monday Night Football. You said that.
I think they deserve to lose tonight, to be honest. They snuck out with a victory tonight.
Yeah.
Couple big plays that went their way that Minnesota... It shows the difference between a team that's 11-1 and a team that's 6-6.
Also, a couple calls that went their way, too.
Yeah. Anyone in particular?
No, the roughing the passer on the two-point conversion. That wasn't
hit to
called.
the head that they didn't call.
Yeah, you got to
know
call
what?
that.
Let's talk about that right now, because I actually was thinking... I think it's so dumb that you can't challenge that when it's the referee's discretion, and he's going to miss a blatant call, but sometimes they make the blatant call.
Right.
It's so subjective.
Especially something like that. It is subjective, but that was so obvious.
Well, it's right, but I mean, it's subjective from the referee standpoint. If the referee sees it or he doesn't, it's not. Nothing has changed whether it really hit the face or not, and it was clearly hit the face.
So you think that there should be able to be a challenge for that?
Absolutely.
For those type
that
of
was
plays,
a big moment in the game.
It was the biggest moment of the game.
Huge.
Yeah. I mean, they were at the 7 at that time because they had a false start. So that's half a distance to the goal. Redo it
Momentum
from the 3
changer.
or 4.
Yeah.
I just think there's got to be something that, because if just depending on the referee calls it or not, when it's blatantly happening, there's got to be a way that you can get that right.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion. All right, so let's go through some stats from this one. Dak Prescott, probably one of his worst games.
Yeah, he didn't do much, right? He had like 100-something yards.
I mean, he made a couple plays at the end, but he had a couple fumbles.
That big play to Dez.
You know what? It was a big play to Dez, but he overthrew Dez.
Yeah.
Dez actually made a beautiful catch, rolled to the 1, and then they punched it in. Minnesota, on the flip side, looked dead offensively. Couldn't get anything going. What do you think?
I will say this again. Sam Bradford exposed. Once the league figured out what was going on, their little juju that they had from preseason to the start of the season, he hasn't been the same.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of disappointed in Sam Bradford. I thought he'd be better than this, especially when he first came on to the scene this year with the Vikings. They started off well. He was playing very well. He developed an instant connection with Stephon Diggs, so I thought, that might be a nice little duo there. But they lost AP, so you kind of have to figure, you lose your biggest weapon.
Yeah, but they were still winning without AP for
That's true.
quite some time.
But because of the defense.
Yeah.
Because of the defense setting up the offense and scoring points for the offense. Notice the defense didn't score any points this game. They ended up with, 12 points, right? Well, no, what was the final score?
Final score is 17-15 Dallas.
So 15 points. And Minnesota got a couple points because there was a turnover in... Dallas had a turnover in their own territory. Dak's fumble. So, I mean, when the Vikings defense is not creating points off turnovers, Minnesota doesn't really score. They don't really score.
I put out on Twitter before the game, I thought Minnesota had a chance to win this one. I really thought they were going to win, and I thought they deserved to win. Their defense played very well.
Yeah. I mean, Zeke did nothing all game. I think he had one big run towards the end.
He did have a big run towards the end. He had one run that was decent in the middle of the game. But they stopped him well.
He had that 43-yard run that was a penalty that they called back.
But
he looked like he hurt himself on that play. Actually, he got up a little gimpy when he was coming back down the field. At least from my perspective, that's what I saw. And I wondered if after that, if that had some, or if he's just sort of wearing down at this point. I don't know, something looked a little off with him to me this game.
I think it's more the Minnesota defense just playing
It's a
well.
good defense. I was also thinking during this game that Minnesota's defense is almost the Seattle defense, but not as good. And I'm really worried about Dallas. I know this is going to sound crazy.
I think the only team that you can legitimately say is better than Dallas right now in the NFC is Seattle.
I think Dallas is the best team. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But after watching tonight's game, I don't think that Dallas could beat Seattle.
I don't know if they can beat Seattle in Seattle, but I don't think they'll have that problem.
They're not going to play in Seattle. That game is going to be in Dallas.
I think they can beat Seattle.
I'm worried. I really am. After tonight's game,
What aspect has you worried? What do you think that they'll have the problem with? Their offense.
Against the good defense. I think Dallas can roll and Dak can roll when they're playing not a great defense, but you saw what a good attacking defense can do to the Dallas offense. And outside of a couple stupid plays, like Minnesota, let's talk about the big plays. That fumble on the punt return,
yes,
game changer. That lost them the game
completely.
Terrible. It was terrible. First of all, don't field the punt inside your 10 or at the 10 if you can't make the catch, and then run with it and then fumble. It was just so terrible.
Well, maybe you can look this up because I feel like Dallas kind of shot themselves in the foot with a bunch of penalties today. There's a couple holding calls. Escobar had 2, I think. I know Zeke had 1. I think Dallas committed more penalties than they usually do. They're usually more clean.
Did Skandrick have one? Didn't Orlando?
Dallas was 10 penalties for their 70 yards lost. I mean, they fumbled the ball 4 times. They only lost 2.
So it's just uncharacteristic of them. I chalk it up to that. I don't think it's the new norm. I just think that it was a bad game. I don't think that you're going to see that again from Dallas.
I don't think it's the new norm. I just think that there's a difference between when you're playing other defenses and playing a good defense.
True.
And I mean, Minnesota's got a good defense, a top 5, top 10 defense, and I'm just worried about Dallas when it comes down to crunch time. Also because I don't really trust Jason Garrett in a big game.
Yeah, I agree.
And he has to prove it in the big game. This is great right now, and I think the pressure is going to rise as they keep winning. Might have been better for them to lose a game here or there to get them in check.
Yeah, to be honest. Lose next week.
They play the Giants next week, right?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
So let's go through some of the stats. We talked about Sam Bradford. If you just look at stats, and this is one of my problems with stats, is you think he might have had a good game because he was 32 for 45, 247 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. But if you watch the game, you didn't at any time think Sam Bradford was rolling.
No.
You saw him completely missing receivers, throwing check down after check down. The 2-point conversion to tie the game at the end, he threw the ball 10 yards out of the end zone.
Yeah, he did. It was a terrible throw.
I mean, come on. Give your guys a chance.
I mean, but haven't we seen this historically?
We have, of course.
So.
And we see the Sam Bradford face, where it's like the confusion meets, I can't believe it.
I don't know what happened here.
It's unbelievable.
He did lead him down for a touchdown in the last drive, though.
Yeah, I think Dallas was playing a little prevent there.
Which, I don't know. Why do teams do that? That blows my mind.
There's not an answer. It's just
It's ridiculous.
prevent them from winning. But on the flip side, Dak, he was 12 for 18, 139 yards passing, the 1 touchdown. To Dez, same thing there. Dez scores on about a 10-yard. Just throw it out because you're gonna play off him at the 10.
Yeah.
How are you gonna play off Dez Bryant at the 10-yard line and let him run into the end zone after he catches it? It's just bozo. Do you think we didn't mention Mike Zimmer, head coach of Minnesota, had emergency eye surgery, missed the game? Do you think that if Mike Zimmer was on the sideline, the result's different?
No.
Same result?
Yeah,
Same result.
I don't think that had much to do with it. Because at this point, especially at this point in the season, we're in week 13. You know your offense. You know what you have to do to prepare. How long has he been away from the team? Just
since yesterday.
Just since yesterday, right? So
Yeah.
It happened
they were
last
already
minute.
prepared. Yeah, they were already prepared.
He
so.
installed the game plan, so that is true. But I never even heard of I think Mike Pfeiffer, the interim coach for today's game. I feel like I know football. I never heard of him.
You know the things.
Tell us what you guys think in the chat or in the comments. If Mike Zimmer was the head coach and didn't miss the game, would the results have been different? We all think no, same result. Let's get to some more stats in this one. Dez, he had 4 for 84, so I mean he had big catches, but not too many.
Yeah, outside that big gain, I feel like the Dallas offense was very conservative today.
Yeah.
Was that just me? I don't know. I just feel like they didn't really.
They played not small, but I felt they played small.
I think it was conservative, but I'm telling you, I really am worried about Dallas in the playoffs now.
I don't know. I'm not as worried as you are.
I am.
I believe in Dak because I think Dak
It's
is
not
a
that I
very
don't
calming
believe in
presence.
him.
I think he makes smart decisions. Zeke is one of the better running backs in the league right now.
Absolutely.
Their line is unbelievable.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you just meet a team that's amped up to go. They're in their home building. It's the only game of the night.
Any given Thursday.
Yeah, it happens.
Nice. Well played, Jill.
I mean, as much as I hate to admit it.
I mean, I also, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I mean, I also think that as far as the Cowboys and Dez just backing up a little bit, Dez hasn't really, I mean, he's obviously been involved in the offense, but he hasn't been a featured part of the offense. He's been like a backup plan. They haven't necessarily needed him. So I think you also have to consider that when heading into the playoffs. He's going to be fresh.
True.
You know what I mean? A little bit fresher. I mean, and so I think that the way that they've been playing, they still have very many offensive weapons, and that's been their strength. And their O-line, so that's why I'm not worried about them. Because
usually they don't turn the ball over and they don't commit as many penalties. And I don't, like I said before, I don't think it's the new norm. I understand they were playing a better defense in Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota's defense is the reason why they had to hold a jersey here and there, or they fumbled the ball here and there. But
it's a short week.
That too.
No, it wasn't a short week.
And then outside of Seattle,
both teams played last Thursday.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Outside of Seattle, what defense are you really fearing in the NFC playoffs? As of right now. And honestly, Minnesota's defense is better than Seattle's defense this year.
I'd take Seattle's defense in a playoff game without question.
I'll take Minnesota.
No.
Defense.
No, I think Seattle's.
Okay,
especially their experience.
But outside of Seattle, what defense is really going to
Yeah.
shut down Zeke, Dak, and that offensive line?
Not shut him down.
But do what happened today, you mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take Seattle against Dallas.
The only team that's up on them this season that seemed to have sort of figured them out is who?
The Giants.
Your New York Football Giants.
It'll be interesting to see the rematch next week.
Yeah.
The Giants play this Sunday night also?
They play Sunday night against... No, they have like the late afternoon game.
Late afternoon.
Against Pittsburgh.
Dallas going to have an extra couple days to get ready for their game in New York. Just trying to look at the schedule. I mean, yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting to a Thursday night game. Interesting. Who does Dak remind you of? Anyone? Tell us in the chat too. In the comments. By the way, James, is anyone in the chat room?
Look it
We'll
up.
find out for you.
Right.
Okay.
But tell me, what do you guys think? Does Dak remind you? Because I started to see some. I always like to do this with players: is see who I think they remind me of, similarities wise. Does he remind you of another quarterback in the NFL right now?
No.
Yeah.
So I think that
Like Carson Palmer with more legs?
I see in Dak. I see some Russell Wilson.
I think he uses his legs more. He creates...
Did you see the play at the end where Dak rolled out, got that first down, they reset the ball, stayed in bounds?
I'm not saying Dak doesn't use his legs, but I feel like Russell's more improv. Dak is more in the pocket.
Dak stays in the pocket, but I think he's got that intuition, instincts that he knows when to get rid of the ball, not to make too many mistakes. He's got a lot of Russell Wilson in my eyes.
So his field vision is basically
He's smart. He's very smart.
Intangibles. He's got a lot of that down, especially when you see him come in and be able to do what he's doing as a rookie.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of what Russell does. Now, they're not similar in stature and some other things are different, but it's got a lot of similarities to Russell Wilson, which is a great comp because I think Russell Wilson's probably my favorite quarterback in the NFL.
Fantasy Stats Guru, shout out to you because you're always holding it down for us, said he thinks that the O-line is what gives Dallas a chance to win their playoff games. I don't think that they would win it all because of inexperience and lack of getting turnovers from their defense. And to answer your other question, Star Drew said Tom Brady wasn't it for Zach Prescott. Does that mean he thinks that Tom Brady reminds him of Zach?
I don't know. We'll keep
What
it
do you
moving
mean by
from
that?
Star Drew. I'm gonna say that some of that reminds me of or that's kind of what I think. I think that the inexperience that Dallas has in the playoffs is gonna bite them against Seattle. I mean, I came on here. I've given you the wild prediction. I think Dallas would win it all with Tony Romo, but I can't see Dallas beating Seattle. We're gonna have to wait and see. A lot of things are gonna change, but after tonight, I'm gonna have to say I'm taking Seattle over Dallas.
Can I go for a rant? Can I go on a little rant here?
Go for it.
I think I would take Seattle over Dallas, but I hate when people say inexperience. That bothers me to no end. It's football. These guys have been playing football their whole
But you don't think
lives.
NFL football is still different?
Football.
Agreed. I don't think that so let me clarify when I say inexperience. I mean that you get to a moment where the pressure gets too big and it affects you in a different way
But
than
all
you're
these
used to.
players have been in games. Zeke played for Ohio State. They all been in games where it's like, this is the biggest game of my life. This is the most pressure I've ever felt in my life. They've all been there.
Two things.
Just in a different arena or a different level.
And once the kickoff happens, don't you forget?
Yes and no. I agree. First, I don't think that Zeke feels pressure. He's been in all those games. He came from Ohio State. I give it that. He doesn't worry me. It's the guys that worry me the most as far as inexperience are head coaches, because I've seen pressure get to them. Like, for example, Andy Reid. That guy can coach a game like no other in the regular season. You put him in the playoffs, an example, the Super Bowl when McNabb and Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to run the 2-minute offense when they need extra points. So
I can't see you from
there are definitely times where head coaches are affected in playoffs. They make the wrong decisions because the pressure gets to them. And flip side of that, also quarterbacks. Running backs, I'm okay with. I don't think that pressure really affects.
So you think Dak is going to crack?
I don't think that
Dak don't crack.
Dak don't crack.
Once you go Dak, you never go back. I do not think that Dak.
Tony Romo would
it's
agree.
not that I think that Dak is going to all of a sudden fall apart. I just think there's a difference between, making your average play and making the game-winning play. And for example, we talk about Tony Romo. Tony Romo in the playoffs, he didn't have a lot of experience. They played Seattle in years ago. He couldn't receive the.
But I don't chalk it up to experience. Like, that's such like a leap for me. You know what I mean?
No,
like
but I think there's something to be said about doing it. Once you do it and you've done it, you have the confidence to do it again. And so for me, a lot of times I like to see someone do it before I know that they could do it again. Also, I just want to say something. Were you guys listening to the telecast tonight when Chris Collinsworth, because NBC had the call, was talking about, they were mentioning how Tony Romo was the best backup in the world.
They said that?
And they were talking about, well, don't get too crazy yet, because don't forget last year Peyton Manning was a backup.
Oh, my God.
And there's a lot of season left.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking that was a funny moment because...
I heard when they dropped the Law and Order theme in on...
They did do that.
What was that?
They did do that.
Shout out so, wait, really quick. Juan Carlos says, after Seattle lost to Tampa Bay, how can you seriously say that they are a better team than the Cowboys?
I think that Dallas is the best team in football. I think they're the best team in football. And I think in the playoffs, when Seattle visits Dallas in the conference championship, I think Seattle's going to beat Dallas. Because I think Seattle plays best in the playoffs. They've been there a lot of times. They're not going to feel any pressure. And I think what we saw tonight is that there's a difference when Dallas plays your very decent team and an attacking defense. It's all about the defense, and I think Seattle has the Minnesota defense, but even better in my opinion. Whether we, different or not, we agree or not, I think Seattle has a better defense, and I think Seattle is going to beat Dallas in Dallas.
Because aren't the Giants the only playoff team that the Cowboys have beaten this season?
No, it's hard to say because Steelers aren't in the playoffs right now, but the Ravens would be in the playoffs. They beat the Ravens, but it's hard to say who's in the playoffs right now.
Real talent.
The one thing I agree with Guru about is that their defense doesn't really make any plays or put points on the board or put their offense in position to...
And frankly, to be completely honest, as I was watching tonight's game, the only thing I could think about is that the Dallas offense looks pretty bad.
But that's just today.
But I know.
But we haven't thought that any other day, to be fair.
Agreed, but they have not been playing great defenses. And that's what I'm just talking about when we talk about the top tier.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about can they win 14 games this season? Can they win that first playoff game against
You're talking Seattle NFC Championship game.
I'm talking about when the cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
Can they get it done? Because that's a whole nother level. And that's where I'm worried. Do I think they could win that game? Absolutely. But do I feel as confident as their 11-1 record would make you think? That's an 11-1 team. I think against Seattle, I'm taking Seattle.
Well, Seattle has to make it there too.
Of course. And you know what? It's funny because we could talk all this and then they both won't
and then
there.
Seattle loses to Atlanta.
And the NFC Championship game could be the Giants and the Falcons.
I'll take it.
But anything can happen.
I need to see the Cowboys there.
It's just something I don't know. I'm just seeing it, and we'll have to see. Obviously,
I think it's a fair observation. I just think that it's not the new norm. I think that
I don't think it's the new norm either. That's not it.
Okay.
But anyways, I guess I think that's much. I mean, what else we got on tonight's game? Anything you guys want to talk about? What do we think about the jerseys?
I loved Minnesota's jerseys. I love them.
Okay.
I'm indifferent to both. They were cool. I mean, it was
Dallas was
nice.
whatever, but I love Minnesota's.
All right. There was news off the field today that came to the forefront tonight, talking about other teams in the NFL and two.
Thank you, Jimbo.
Thank you. I thought he's still awake. I thought we put him to sleep. We'll start with, it came out that it looks like without a miracle that both two teams will be moving, and they're both in the AFC West. First, the Oakland Raiders are going to go to Las Vegas, it looks like. Now, they're going to have to get approval for that, but that looks like it's on the table as a real thing. And on the flip side, this will happen where the San Diego Chargers will move to LA and join the Rams in their new stadium down the road, but they're coming to Los Angeles next season unless a miracle.
Unless a miracle. They've opted out. The city of San Diego has said, we don't have any public funds for you to get another stadium. So guess what? They're like, yeah, we're going to head up north to LA. I think that's going to be interesting. We've talked a bit about this. I am a newly what's the word for it? I'm a newfound Rams fan that used to have a loose attachment to them in the past. And so Mike and I were discussing what we think is going to happen once the Chargers hit LA. I think the Rams better step it up, or they're going to find the seats at the Coliseum look a little emptier next season.
I agree with you, Jill, because the Rams are one of the least exciting teams in the NFL right now, and even though the Chargers aren't
nice.
Okay, they are the least exciting team in the NFL.
No.
All right, one of.
There is still
the
a
Browns,
team. Yeah, there's still a team called the Browns out there.
But even though the Chargers are incredibly mediocre right now, they still have Phillip Rivers. They have playmakers. Keenan Allen should be back.
They got a lot of players on Antonio Gates is still a player.
Travis Benjamin.
I'm wearing this Rams hat because of two reasons. Because of this news, and also because I want to support the LA Rams. But at this current time, and I feel like I speak for a lot of people in LA, that after seeing Jeff Fisher completely shit the bed continuously as the head coach, that it's time for him to be fired. And if he is not fired, this news about San Diego coming up to LA is going to be huge, because the Rams are going to be second fiddle in this city if they don't fire Jeff Fisher. That, to me, is a no-brainer. With the way Jeff Fisher coaches this team, it's unexciting. There's no hope. Fans have lost hope. They don't like going to the games. And if the Chargers come with who the players you mentioned, the Chargers are going to take over this city in a heartbeat, and people are going to be Chargers fans and not the Rams fans. And it's all going to come down to if Jeff Fisher's fired. So basically, anybody in the LA Rams organization, either they got to do something about getting rid of Jeff Fisher.
You really think it comes down to that? It's that simple?
There's more to it, but I think that is as simple as I can make it. That if Jeff Fisher returns as the Rams head coach, that you are putting the Rams as the second team in this city by a lot. And you will see everyone jump ship, because they're not exciting. No one likes Jeff Fisher, not even Eric Dickerson. And the reality is that they play no one's inspired by them.
There's no star on the team.
And they're a very boring team to watch.
Yeah.
And you don't have any hope believing in Jeff Fisher. This guy's a crook. He's a crook. He's a fraud.
Charlatan.
Get rid of him. I don't know what kind of blackmail he has on the owner and stuff. Honestly, this is ridiculous. But get rid of that guy, because otherwise, this Rams hat is going to be a Chargers hat next year.
Oh, there it is.
Oh. Yeah, I like that hat, though. I'll take it.
It is a nice hat.
It's a very nice hat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have two quick news stories.
Please, drop them.
We're going to move on. New England Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski is out for the season. He'll undergo surgery for a herniated disc. It's really sad to see Rob out again. When's the last time he finished a full season?
I don't remember.
It's been bad.
And I mean, he is extremely talented. He's been one of the premier players at that position and sort of, spotlight.
But he's the best tight end of all time.
Of all time?
Yes.
I agree.
Wow.
So Dolphins 25-1 to win the AFC East?
Not happening.
But I'm just saying.
I mean, but I think, to me, that is a huge blow for them. I mean, I know we saw them early in the season get by without Brady, but I think that Patriots fans should be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, because when Gronk is in that lineup, it makes them almost impossible to beat. They're very dominant.
It's a huge loss.
It's huge.
We're not 100% sure he's out of the playoffs, are we? We're done. We know he's done.
I read 8 weeks.
8 weeks, and I know the report said he's likely done for the season, but he potentially could be back for a Super Bowl or something.
Yeah, but they have to make it there, and I don't think they make it out.
They do have to make it there.
They don't make it out of the AFC without him.
Yeah, I don't think.
Who makes it out now?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow. Welcome to the bandwagon, Josh. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. As I talked about Andy Reid in the playoffs, not a great combo. We'll see.
Okay, so I have two other quick things. Richard Sherman blamed karma for Cam's And the Panthers' bad season because he snatched the 12th man's flag.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And then I have a couple of bits of Jets news. There were rumors that Darrelle Revis has mentally checked out on the season. He looks like it. It's like Revis Rock now and not Revis Island.
Wow.
But he says he still has love for the game, and it's just something that's going through. But allegedly, Woody Johnson is unhappy with him and may not, try and restructure his deal to, have Darrelle take a pay cut and come back. He may just cut him and let him roll out. So
Darrelle Revis is not taking a pay cut right now.
You know
I
where
can
he's
tell you
going
that
next
right
year?
now.
she's going back to Miami? Is that what you think?
He's never been on Miami, but
back to Tampa. I'm sorry.
No,
New England.
New England.
Back to New England.
He'd be a safety on New England next season.
I'm over him. He should go home. That's where he should go.
Well, he's not what he used to be.
No, he was the top. He was the cream of the crop, and he was a great cornerback in his heyday.
Yes, he was.
And that heyday is over.
That heyday is
and
over.
it's time to get a lifeboat. So anyway, and lastly, this is kind of some sad news. Former Jets player Joe McKnight was murdered this afternoon.
And USC grad.
Yes, USC grad, putting in work in a road rage incident. He was in his hometown of New Orleans. He had some type of altercation with the driver of another car. He was apologetic. It wasn't like he was trying to argue with him. This is according to an eyewitness. And I guess this man was very, very enraged about something. And he ended up shooting him and then standing over him and shooting him again, saying, I told you not to F with me. So this is from an eyewitness who had walked out of a store just as the incident was happening. So sending prayers to his family and the Jets family.
Sad.
He also played with the Chiefs, and it was 2014 when
I remember him in college. He was the #1 prospect at a time when he was in high school. He was supposed to be the next Reggie Bush.
Yeah, he was. So.
Sad.
All right.
And one last segment. I created this. We're doing it different tonight. We've lost some of our panel, but I created T or F on T and F. So it's true or false. You guys each have to give me your answers. You don't know my questions. They don't know my questions.
Okay.
If you guys want in the chat or in the comments, you can play along. You can tell us what you think. It's either true or false now. I've got 11, all right?
And you guys can ask some questions, too. This should be fun.
True or false? Number 1, Dallas is the best team in football.
False.
Right now? Or period?
Right now, I mean, whatever you think it means. Josh said false. Jill?
Oh my God. T
or F?
I feel like true. I'm gonna stand by. Hey, not the Jeopardy music.
like
it was hard for me. True.
Time's
I'm
up.
gonna go with true.
True. All right, we got one true, we got one false. All right, number 2, Minnesota will make the playoffs.
False. That's been my stance all season.
Don't worry, this is being recorded.
I'm gonna have
Your
to give
answers
in.
are being
I'm
recorded.
gonna have to give in. False.
Ooh, all right, we got an agreement
I've been
there.
vouching for Minnesota.
No way.
Now,
season.
remember, guys.
In Sam Bradford, you will not prosper.
Now I just can't.
You are allowed to join us in the live chat or the comments and answer these questions. Let us know all week because this is being recorded.
False.
There you go. False.
Number 3, Dak Prescott is the MVP.
False.
False.
Unison. Number 4, Ezekiel Elliott is the Rookie of the Year.
False.
True.
Ooh, okay, disagreement there. Number 5, Thursday Night Football is good for the NFL.
False.
False.
All right, number 6, Thursday Night Football has been a disaster for the fans.
True.
True.
This is getting good. I had to take a sip. Number 7. Thank you in the live chat, Fantasy Stats Guru.
We appreciate
Number
you.
7, the Color Rush uniform theme is a good idea.
True.
True. I like it.
All right, good. I like it too. Number 8, you have watched a Thursday Night Football game on Twitter this season.
True.
True.
All right, so Twitter. Good job by Twitter. Number 9, Tony Romo will be a starting quarterback in 2017.
True.
True.
Okay, Houston.
Yeah, true.
Number 10, on the flip side, Teddy Bridgewater will be a starting quarterback in 2017.
Who?
That's not the choice. T or F.
I mean, who else are the Vikings going to get? Obviously not Sam Bradford again.
I'm just, maybe he's healthy,
His injury
maybe he's
was
not.
so. I'm gonna say false. That injury.
Oh, you
Fault,
don't think
right.
he's going to come back from it?
Yeah.
And finally, number 11, this has been your favorite segment on TNF.
1000% true.
True.
Thank you. That is TRF on TNF.
Nice. Anyone on the chat have anything?
Yeah, they have a lot. They've been answering all. Fantasy
Thank
Stats
you.
Guru answered all the questions. Juan Carlos was in there. I think it was
Appreciate it.
Star Drew. We appreciate you guys giving your answers.
Side note: Dak Prescott, Rookie of the Year.
That's why I asked him. Okay, so
I'm with
Dak.
Zeke. I'm with Zeke, and you know why I say that? Because of his the stats numbers that he's putting up.
killing it.
And was it? God, I can't remember whose record he broke or is about to break. I'm blanking.
Tony Dorsett.
Dak.
No, it was
what
somewhere.
record are we talking about?
For some record on the Cowboys that I can't remember now because I'm unprepared. But yeah,
I know my segment got you thrown off.
a little bit, but I liked it. You know that's good. I
Well,
like that.
Thanks for
It's
playing.
kind of hard not to give Rookie of the Year to the quarterback who's having the best rookie season.
But you just said he's MVP.
No, he's not MVP.
No, you,
Oh no.
I said Rookie of the Year.
Okay, you said
you
Rookie
got
of
him
the
on the
Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You gotta get to him.
who is the MVP, guys?
Derek Carr.
I would say Derek Carr, and I would say second Matthew Stafford.
Oh,
I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think you gotta get to Matt. I think you do.
And second, I would go Dak or Zeke. I don't know, but Derek Carr. I really think
the
he's
Lions
top
are in
one.
first place. Matthew Stafford's playing out of his mind. He's having a great season.
he is having.
I mean, I know his reputation isn't the best reputation, but I mean, you got to give him credit.
I'm giving him credit.
Who are you going to put over him? Jimbo don't like it.
See
Who are you going to put over Matthew Stafford? Maybe Matt Ryan? That's it.
who?
Matt Ryan? Matt Ryan's...
I'm joking. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of people.
Who? For MVP?
I mean, I'm going to throw it. First off, I'm going to take Tom Brady over Matt Stafford.
Now, here's the thing.
Can
I
we
know.
just? I mean,
He's
You know what I'm
he's
gonna
missed
say.
4 games.
And in those 4 games, he went 3-1. Now, obviously, he's the most valuable player on the team, and you can argue he's the best quarterback in the league. I get it.
He's Tom
all that
Brady.
good stuff. But how valuable are you if your team went 3-1 without you?
to me, this season it showed
valuable.
Tom Brady. It's clearly valuable,
But is he the most valuable player in the league?
absolutely not right now.
That's my point. Yes, he's valuable, but is he the most N stands for most valuable player?
no.
We got
not.
We got 5 more weeks left. All right, I think that's it. You guys have anything else?
Matt Stafford, runner-up MVP.
Matt Stafford.
I'm saying runner-up.
Next,
Runner-up?
Let's
Yeah,
focus.
Derek Carr's MVP.
Next week, Thursday Night Football, we got a great one. Probably the best matchup of the season. Not even young anymore. We got the Kansas City Chiefs and Oakland Raiders. Could be for first place.
It is for first place in my mind.
Well, it depends what happens this weekend. But
Yeah.
yeah, could actually be for first place. Who you taking?
I'm taking Kansas City. I'm on the Kansas City bandwagon with you. I think they're going to the Super Bowl.
aboard, baby.
If I had to choose right now,
Choo-choo.
today.
Oh, you think they're going to the Super
Yeah,
Bowl?
this is obviously subject to change in 2 weeks, but as of right now, they would be my pick to go to AFC, to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
Against Dallas? Are you on the Giants now?
No, I'm like you. I would take Seattle over Dallas.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I would say
My how
Chiefs,
the opinions
Seahawks.
change.
Chiefs, Seahawks.
I'm gonna take the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, just go out there. And I
Alright.
think just win, baby. They have a little something going. They stumbled a bit, and I feel like that they might have something for Kansas City's defense.
The Raiders are a lot like the Giants to me, not in the way they play, but just that
So
there's
funny
something
that you said that.
about them that I just don't like or don't trust. And I'm a Giants fan.
I was
I'm
just
saying
about
this.
to say the Raiders are so much like the Cowboys.
Really?
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about.
And you-
I'm not talking about the way they play. I
Yeah.
mean, I just mean that I watch the Raiders and I don't believe in them. Just like I watch the Giants and I don't believe yet. I just don't. I don't know why. I can't even
Because
give
your
you.
coach is Ben McAdoo?
I can't even give you guys like a reason, like a valid, logical reason. It's just eye test type of thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can tell you.
Yeah, I don't think the Raiders can. I think the Raiders are a year away. They're overachieving this season by a lot. And
I do think they're overachieving, but for some reason, I just feel like they'll come out on top.
On Thursday.
Next on Thursday, not.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just talking about Thursday.
It's gonna be a
not
good
talking
game.
about any further than that.
Chiefs are 18-3 in the last 21 regular season
They're
games.
6-0 in that division, right? I mean, in the last
yet.
6 games or something like that.
They
Something-
might be in the
some
last 6
stat
games,
like
yeah.
last 8 games are 8-0 or something like that.
Andy Reid's a boss.
Why is
He's a
nobody
great
really
head
talking
coach.
about the Chiefs though?
Because they're not
'Cause they're-
exciting.
No, because their quarterback's Alex Smith.
But Alex Smith is serviceable.
I agree, but a lot of people it's Alex Smith, so it's Alex Smith.
Yeah.
And they just got Justin Houston back, that Chiefs team, man. I was telling you guys about him weeks ago.
Did you listen? Did you pick him up for your fantasy
Mike has
team?
also been telling us about the Tennessee Titans.
I know.
He has.
Titans.
Mike's
Not
been kind
bad.
of right this season, yeah.
I like to pick out the teams early, but who cares? Doesn't mean anything. All right, that's it. You can catch me on social media at Mike Rips. My name is Michael Rippe, and I'm usually joined somewhere with these people.
I'm Jill Munroe. You can check me at Stiletto Jill everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Check out JocksonStilettoJill.com for some sports and pop culture stories and gossip.
Nice. I'm Josh Rodriguez. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Rodriguez_. I love to debate about sports on Twitter, so hit me up if you guys want. You can catch me on the Monday Night Football After Show with these guys right here. Thank you for having me on Thursday Night Football.
Thanks for coming. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.